Yep.
Here we go, swirling. Oh my god. Alright, I'm banging this thing. So here we are, we finished our toasts. Dan, what'd you think?
It was unbelievable. I think that when you hear toast, you just think it's just another piece of toast, and that's not the case here. The egg in the hole was unbelievable. It had between the salt and the butter, it was almost like a fresh piece of garlic toast with an egg in it. And the avocado toast was the same. It was very fresh, and your first bite with how warm it is, I was not expecting it to be this good.
That is how I feel exactly. And that is why I think everyone can have an appreciation for food. And we were talking about it while we were eating, but it's like, it's amazing how something as simple as bread can be so hard to find. Like something that, like a homemade bread that is this caliber of quality. It's just bread, but you don't find it everywhere. And that's kind of why I appreciate this place and why I appreciate San Francisco. And I feel like you felt the same way.
Yeah.
You kind of got it as soon as you bit into that first piece.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like you said, and we talked about it, like, we don't get that bread, you know? Like, we go to the store, like in Florida, in Fort Myers, we go to Publix and just go get our local bread and make a sandwich. And we're just used to, like, I think, like, bread is bread. And that was not the case here. Like, this is bread that I've never really tasted before. Because I think, too, sometimes you get the thick bread and it's hard to make it soft inside, right? Like you bite into the big piece of bread and it's like super hard, you know what I mean?
The whole thing gets crusty.
Or falls apart and like it just had like bits of piece of toast laying around. But it was, and also
is there a place in Florida that you know of that's like, this is a bakery that?
No.
Yeah. There's one in Arizona that we go to, and it's like a bread place. It's called Noble Bread, and it's very good, but it's not the same.
Yeah, I have not had any bread like this. Yeah, and also too the how it was prepared here. Everything, it's easy to just throw the avocado on, you know what I mean, the spread, but everything was so prepared nicely and simple.
Simple.
Yeah.
This celebrates the bread.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the whole reason I do this is to learn about people and their what they love, what foods they love, and what their relationship with food is like. And so the first thing I want to ask you is, I know you're a fisherman. Mm-hmm. Tell me about that. Tell me about how you got started going fishing. Was it your parent, relative, something? And why? I know you love to eat fish, and we're going to talk about that too. But
so I grew up fishing. Grew up on the water. My dad and I would fish all the time. My brother with my cousins, and then as I got older, when I could get my own boat and having my close friends back home, it's like a getaway. Like I feel like when I'm on the water, like I'm just in another world, and I love to eat fish. I'll try any fish, but at home, redfish, snook, and there's a lot of fish that people don't like. Triple tail. If you ever at a restaurant and they're serving triple tail, I highly recommend getting it. It's a super white fish, and it's almost like a hogfish. I don't know if you've had hogfish before.
Yeah.
But triple tail it's a super ugly fish in the water, and it's actually fun. How you catch them is they eat the algae and crustaceans off of the crab lines. So people have their crab pots out in the lines, and you literally just drive the boat and most of the time crab lines are in a straight line for a while, like maybe 30 or 40 of them. And you just drive right by them, and you look over the side of the boat, and the triple tail are almost on top of the water eating the algae. And if they're there, you flip back around, you throw a shrimp at them, and they'll eat them. They're a very dumb fish. Like, it doesn't even scare them. You can literally drive right by them, and they'll just stay right there. But I recommend triple tail, and then obviously...
So they're delicious and they're easy to catch.
Yes, exactly. If someone always asks us, like, hey, I want to go catch fish, what should I do? We always say, you should go triple tailing, you know what I mean? Because it's very easy. And then obviously the grouper is offshore snapper. But I also think, just like any other food, it's all about how the fish is prepared. You know, you can
what's
fry
your favorite? What's your favorite preparation?
Yeah, I like it blackened. I really...
You do that yourself?
Yeah, you know. And then my buddy's really good at... He makes his own, like, breadcrumb seasoning. So, so he'll put all his spices in the breadcrumbs, and, you know, we can do a fish fry like that. But any fish is really good fried, you know? Like, it's like... so I enjoy... I haven't got into it as much, but my buddy loves... frying whole snapper. So you fry the whole fish. Yeah. I'm sure you've eaten that a lot, like you...
Yeah. I mean, I say this all the time. If I, like, you know, people always ask you the desert island question, like, what's one thing you could eat for the rest of your life? My answer is always the same. It's a whole piece of fish, fresh fish, freshly caught fish, because for me... There's nothing better than that. I think of fresh fish, a whole fish. If that's at a restaurant, it's on the menu, and it's like, you know, that's the one. Like there's like one thing, and it's like a whole fish preparation. I'm going for that every time. But I mean, that's for me. Fresh fish is. That's where it's at.
I'm with you on the fresh thing. I have like this weird. If we eat fish and I have to freeze it. I won't eat it. Like, if we don't eat it that night, I'm just really I don't want to freeze. Like, I'll give it away. You know, like if someone else wants it, but like if I know that like we're gonna clean the boat and like go have beers and not go home and eat right away, I won't keep the fish. You know what I mean? Once you've had the fresh fish, it's like ruined.
Exactly.
So like now, if I know that we're gonna go home and like grill out and do that, then obviously we keep the fish because we know I'm gonna eat it that night. You know, but if not, I'll either give it away or just won't. I don't like wasting fish. You know, so
awesome.
Yeah.
What is your first like memory of fishing with whoever or whatever that you feel like, was there one memory that hooked you kind of?
I don't know about hook, because I was always like,
I
love the fish.
Intended.
Yeah, exactly. I was always loved the fish. Like, we would go on family vacations and stay on the beach, and I would be out there at 8 a.m. by myself on the beach, just walking up and down the beach fishing. You know?
Oh my God.
But one story that's actually funny, I was younger. I was like 6, 7 years old, and I went with my uncle. We were at family vacation in Charleston, South Carolina, Myrtle Beach. And we were staying at the house on the beach, and there was like this huge rock levee that was like way down the beach, and my uncle and I went and fishing down there. Well, my uncle was getting bait, and I just went off and did my own thing. Like, I was like, I'm just going to fish, and he's like looking for me. And I hooked this redfish, this like massive redfish, and I'm like, I'm like screaming to the top of my lungs to have this fish. And my uncle like thought something was wrong with me, like someone's like trying to get me or something. Because I'm like fighting this fish, and it's too big for me. Like I'm like, and I reel it in, and I eventually get it in. My uncle comes over, and I remember taking it.
Got it in by yourself.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So that was kind of the one. Like, like I said, like I feel like fishing and being on the water, like. It's just a getaway. You know, some people say the woods, some people say like they like to go for a walk. Like, I love waking up in the morning when it's still dark out, picking the boys up, and we go get.
You love the process.
Yeah, I do. I love.
You're a process guy. You like the process with hitting.
Yeah.
You like the process with fishing.
Yeah, I don't care who catches the fish. Like when we go fishing, like some people are like, I want to catch this, I want to catch that. Like. I don't care who catches it. I like seeing people catch fish. You know what I mean? So like sometimes my buddy and we'll go get the bait. We'll have a couple guys, and I won't even fish. I'll just sit up in the tower and drive around and like let them catch fish.
Yeah.
So like I enjoy that.
I get it, man. That is that's me and like going out to eat at restaurants, at different restaurants. I love everything about it. You know, like the service, the people, the people watching, the food,
you want to see
the
other
decor,
people enjoy the good food. Too.
Yeah, and I want to see like the vibe, and that's what you're trying to create an atmosphere. So I get it, man. This has been gold, and I feel like watching your eyes light up when you talk about fishing, because I've heard you do it in the clubhouse too, and I'm like, this is a guy I got to talk to about food, because the way I feel about all things food is you and fishing, and I can see it in your face when you start talking about it.
Yeah, it's isn't it crazy that we get attached to something, like, you know what I mean? And like, it's like I always say, like the little things that make us happy, right? Like fishing, like just being on the water, anything about fishing. Like I'll be on my phone just watching fishing videos, you know? And like that's how you are with food, you know? Like you love, you said the process of the food. Like you like follow the chefs. You're like, I'll go fish somewhere that I've never fished before. You like trying new restaurants. You know what I mean? Like I think that stuff is so cool.
It's kind of appropriate that we're here at the mill in San Francisco where they make their own bread. We were talking about it on the ride over here, and you know, the process of making sourdough is complex and takes time, and I think that's something that you could appreciate, something we could all appreciate, and I'm glad I picked this spot for us.
Yeah, I'm glad,
Thanks,
you got to bring me. Thanks for having me.
This was an amazing episode. I can't believe, you know, we picked the perfect spot for Mr. Vogelbach here.
I love it. Hope I get to come back on.
Next time, you got to take me out fishing.
Yeah, we'll do
sometime.
a fishing trip on.
Yeah. All right.
Perfect.
See you, man.
See you.